China announcing 400,000 steelworker job cuts. By Samuel Davidson. 1 February 2016. An estimated 400,000 steel workers in China will lose their jobs, in line with plans to slash crude steel production capacity by between 100 million and 150 million tons. The announcement was posted Sunday on government websites, and reports a decision made by the State Council on January 22 to cut steel, coal and other basic industrial production in response to the global slump and declining growth in China. Li Xinquang, head of the China Metallurgical Industry Planning and Research Institute, said that the cuts in production would translate into 400,000 steel workers losing their jobs. Large-scale redundancies in the steel sector could threaten social stability, Li Xinquang told the official Xinhua news agency Monday. The State Council did not say when the cuts would be made, but China, which produces half of the world's steel, has already cut capacity by 90 million tons in response to the growing slowdown in the Chinese and world economy, and is under enormous pressure to do more. Along with the cuts already made, the new cuts will amount to about a 20% reduction in steel-making capacity. The reductions will have an enormous impact on Chinese workers. In addition to those directly employed in steel-making, it is estimated that for every job lost in steel, another 3 jobs are lost in related and supporting industries. 3 million workers in the steel, coal, cement, aluminium and glass industries are expected to lose their jobs in the next few years as these industries seek to cut production by 30%. Many of these employees are first-generation workers who migrated from impoverished rural villages with hopes of a better life. Often their families are dependent upon money these workers are able to send home. As in the United States and every other country, investors responded to the announced job cuts with joy. The stock price of China's largest steel maker, Hebei Iron and Steel, rose 4.3% on the news, and the second biggest, Boshan Iron and Steel, rose by 5.3%. The stock prices of China's coal producers also rose on the news of the layoffs. According to the World Steel Association, China's steel production in 2014 amounted to 822.7 million tons, or 49.4% of the world output of steel. Japan is the second largest steel producer, at 110.7 million tons, followed by the United States at 88.2 million tons and India at 86.5. In 2015, world steel production fell by 2.8%. China's steel production fell to 803.8 million tons, or a drop of 2.3%, the largest fall in 25 years. U.S. steel production fell 11% to 78.9 million tons and European production declined by 3.2%. Japan, Turkey and South Korea also saw declining steel production in 2015. The outlook for 2016 is even further cuts. Prices for steel have been on a corresponding decline. The benchmark for hot-rolled steel has fallen on the world market from over $600 a ton in February 2013 to less than $300 a ton in December 2015. According to the World Steel Association, there is currently an overcapacity of steel making by 300 million tons. In other words, the world's overcapacity of steel is greater than the combined production in Japan, the United States and India, the second, third and fourth largest producers combined. U.S. Steel, the second largest steel producer in the United States, reported a $1 billion loss for the fourth quarter of 2015, for a total loss of over $1.5 billion for the year. The steelmaker reports that its production has fallen to less than 70% of capacity. Over the past year it has laid off thousands of steel workers and idled several mills. The massive layoffs among Chinese steel makers underscores the reactionary nature of the United Steelworkers Union campaign to blame Chinese steel workers for the decline in U.S. steel production and resultant layoffs. Behind the nationalism and chauvinism being pushed by the USW is support for the war drive of the U.S. government against China. Steel workers in China, the U.S., Japan, India and everywhere around the globe are facing the same problems, brought about not by the workers of other countries but by the fundamental contradictions of the capitalist system. In place of nationalism, chauvinism and war, workers need an international socialist policy that unites the workers of the world in a common struggle to defend jobs and living standards.